You're watching a clip from the Club podcast.
Make sure you follow it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give it a 5-star review.
So here you go. Here's a lovely clip from our podcast.
What's happening, everyone, and welcome to the Club. Now, before we get into this clip, I need to let you know that this clip is brought to you by the wonderful people of NordVPN. NordVPN have been kind enough to partner with us for the duration of the season, and it is a wonderful service. Make sure that you head over to NordVPN/the Club for all of your VPN needs. Now, we all need a VPN in your life, and Nord are elite. So make sure that you check them out. It is so affordable. It is comparable to the price of a cup of coffee per month. And guess what? You get a money-back guarantee and you get 4 months extra totally for free. Not only that, one account can be linked to 6 different devices. This really is the solution for all of your VPN needs. VPNs are fantastic. It allows you to watch football that otherwise you may not be able to watch. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoy this clip. Cheers.
One man who needs that memory thing from Men in Black is Brendan Rodgers to forget about his time at Leicester City. Well, maybe it was a good time.
Segue.
I think upon reflection, he'll really relish what he did at Leicester City.
He did a good job at
things.
Leicester.
This is one of those things where I get an awful lot of stick because, you know, in our world, a lot of the time I do. But my God, I called this one right.
You called it right.
This one right for such a long time.
Okay, so whether we agree or not about his legacy at Leicester City, in a practical sense, right now, there's 10 games left in the season for Leicester City. Is it the right call now?
Yeah, I think it
For
is
Leicester
now.
City, yes.
Because they're 19th in the table as we've done this video.
I think it should have happened a long time ago. I think he's gone past his sell-by date at Leicester. There's nothing wrong with that. I think maybe the message, maybe his character, his personality just got tiring for the players, the dressing room and everyone there. I think ultimately he's been a success at Leicester City though. I know we kind of mocked him for dropping out the Champions League spots twice, but like those 2 5th place finishes, apart from them winning the league, that's the highest they've ever finished in the Premier League. So winning the FA Cup, you add that into the mix. There's a lot of managers that have had better teams that haven't won trophies, and we ridicule them for it. Yeah. So in my opinion, I think he's been a success, but I think he should have gone maybe at the end of last season, maybe you could say at various points during that season.
Yeah.
I think he should have gone a long time ago, but I think he has ultimately been a success, and I think he will go on to do similar-ish jobs elsewhere.
I think so, yeah.
I think
he's a Spurs manager in waiting. If Spurs want to go down the approach of younger players, go away from this kind of signing the older Perisic's of the world and go back to youth like they did with Pochettino, he's a great example. The big thing for me about his time at Leicester City...
Back to youth? Hang on a minute.
No, but Spurs might want to go back to an approach of signing younger, more progressive players, and Brendan Rodgers has got a good record of doing that. I think that goes under the radar. This is a Leicester City side that had to get rid of Wes Morgan. They got rid of Riyad Mahrez at points.
This is a long time ago.
There's a lot of transition. That's what I'm trying to say. And they've had to rebuild with Harvey Barnes,
Manchester United are in.
Drewsbury Hall, etc. And Ian Atcher's not lived up to it. I think he's had to manage transition at Leicester City without much money. I think he's done a very good job.
I think everything that you said is true. He has done very well, and he is a good manager. My frustration with Brendan Rodgers is that he is seen as being some sort of oracle. He is seen often as an answer to big clubs when there is a managerial vacancy at top tier clubs. I'm talking top tier. He seems to somehow get his name linked, and he isn't that. Look, he did very well at Celtic. He won a lot of silverware, but ultimately it ended prematurely. At Leicester, there have been countless examples of where they should have got so much more and they didn't. At Liverpool, there's an obvious example of when they should have got so much more and they didn't. Ultimately, when it really comes down to it, around this time in the season, his teams capitulate. He's a capitulation manager. Yes, he can do certain things very well. And I think that he is a good manager for a good club, similar to Leicester.
What is
but
that club then?
He is not a top. I think Tottenham would be...
Tottenham's the top of that.
Tottenham would be too big for him. I don't think he's good enough to be.
But we say, okay, West Ham's a big club, but they're in the relegation battle as well.
Everton, West Ham level manager.
He'd be a good replacement for Moyes.
West Ham level manager.
But you know why he might fit in at Spurs? Because they talk about all this stuff about they want to see a good style of football and all that. He does.
He does.
He's
had to manage it with no investment for a year. I mean, the owners of Leicester City struggled with COVID. He was there for 4 years, back-to-back 5th finishes. European football.
Yeah, but Buvey, you know when we do this show, you get very frustrated when Adam or I say top lines and make that the case study for the person. You go in top 5 twice. We are all, and everybody watching this is intelligent enough to go, hang on a minute, both those times, 5th was an anti-climax.
I think it's an anti-climax if Arsenal come 5th and they're in the top 4 race. But for Leicester City to come 5th out of nowhere, that's incredible. That's consistent Europa League football for Leicester City is a miracle. I'm sorry.
Broke me. I swear.
These lads were in the Championship a few years ago. They were in League One.
They were going to go down as well.
Exactly. They had Nigel Pearson talking about ostriches. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's got them 5th. He smashed Chelsea in a fine. He's had to manage transition of someone like Kasper Schmeichel leaving the club. The greatest keeper they've ever had, ever will have. He leaves the club. Stuff like that. You know, it's a hard one. So
what he made about their owners was good. The point he made about their owners was bang on though. Because during COVID,
they're fucked.
They needed duty free and all that stuff. Didn't they? No one was buying. Their,
was that true?
Yeah,
was that true?
King Power relied on like
duty free
traveling, all that kind of stuff. They were done in.
Yeah, they overall.
What was your original point? Where did you start?
The point I was trying to make was they should have made it into the top 4, and the fact that they didn't on 2 different occasions is actually.
What game was it that they bottled? I'm just trying. I'm not even what are those games that I said about Arsenal bottling it? They dropped points to Southampton.
No, I can't remember. I can't remember sort of specifics of where it went wrong for Rodgers.
But where does it change? Because at the start of the season, you say 5th to Leicester City. At the start, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Dropping out is terrible. But for a club like if it's Chelsea coming 5th, if it's Man City with all the money,
no, but this is about expectations, isn't it? Expectations do change.
Got Ian Atcher up front. The kid's a donkey.
No, but expectations, Booth, change. The point that I was very
you say Ian Atcher was better than Rashford, by the way.
He was for 69 minutes.
Do you know what the point that I was trying to make was? There was a time when Leicester were in the top 4. Like it was given. Like I remember debating it, and we go, well, the top 3 is signed off. Leicester were in the top 3. The top 3 is signed off. Leicester have made it, and then it's up to this would have been Lampard's first season.
Who made it instead of them?
Chelsea, Lampard.
Money, Chelsea.
No, hang on, Buvey. You can't just say money, Chelsea. Not
in a bad way.
I have to say something. It was off the back of selling Hazard transfer ban.
You still had a squad that a few years ago won a league.
Team. It was Mount and James.
What we're arguing about here, though,
it was Mount, James, and Abraham that did it.
Yeah, someone like Kovacic in midfield.
Lads, he never got sacked for finishing 5th, though. He got sacked for where he is now. So surely you have to look at why they are where.
No, I'm just using it as an example to demonstrate like a perennial underachiever, perennial failure.
But that's at the top level at Leicester. I think that's acceptable.
5th is not a failure for me. I get what you're trying to say. But if you come 5th with Leicester, mate, there could be a manager for the next 50 years at Leicester City, and he might not get them 5th ever again.
No, I agree
they
with
might
that.
never come top half.
But they'll never have a better chance either.
They're more likely to be in the Championship in 5 years' time than be 5th.
But they might never get a better manager than
you can't honestly.
He's the best manager they'll ever have.
You can't honestly think that's the case, because if a team were top of the league. If Leicester were top of the league, say with 6 games to go and ended up finishing 5th, you still can't view that through the prism of success.
So if Leicester comes 2nd in the Ranieri season, is that a failure?
With 1 game to go, it would have been, yeah.
What about how many games? Well, yeah, it was 1 game to go. So yeah, it's an interesting debate. I still think 2nd would be an incredible achievement for Ranieri if that had happened. But they came 1st.
If you end up in a situation where you have to beat one team to win a title, one team, I'm afraid you just have to do that.
Obviously, on that Leicester chat, like where did it go from here? The next manager market, Benitez 7-2, then it goes Ange Postecoglou 6-1, Potter 7s, Carrick 8s, Gerrard 8s, then Thomas Frank, Villa Boas, Vincent Kompany.
If I was Carrick, I wouldn't go there.
No, I don't think any of those should. I mean, the obvious one here is Rafael Benitez, because I think Benitez keeps them up. Like, you know, if their priority
to keep them up.
They don't have the players to play that kind of aggressive football. They got a lot of younger players. Someone like Harvey Barnes, very technically gifted player. He's going to be limited by someone like Benitez for me.
No, but
they're in a really awkward situation.
No, but remember, Buvey, it isn't about the player that Barnes is going to develop into under Benitez. This is simply who keeps them up 6 games left.
No, but look at the style of play he would want to play. Have they got the players suited to that style of play? I don't think they have. Although you could argue that, you know, the likes of Tielemans, Vardy, they've all been on the fringes of Rodgers' team. Maybe another manager comes in and gets more out of them.
I think Vardy's got. I've been thinking that for about a good 18 months about Vardy. Maybe there's 10 more goals in him. Mate, the guy's done, unfortunately.
I mean, you should just sign for Wrexham or something, innit?
Go back to non-league football, maybe. Yeah, but,
No, look, overall, they have to stay up. Like, to be the club that they want to be the club that they were building towards being. Like, remember, like, they were seen as a team that were really in the ascendancy, winning the cup, constantly qualifying for Europe, doing fairly well in Europe. To keep that momentum going, they cannot be relegated. And if you're the owner, you're going to be looking at this just thinking, right, how do we stay up? That's the only thing that needs to be answered. Everything else, development, process, all of that comes next season.
They might get relegated based on the fact that I think West Ham are too good to get relegated. Sean Dyche has already gone. Sean Dyche has already gone there. Now that Roy Hodgson's gone, Wolves have replaced their manager. Leeds have replaced their manager. They've acted so late. You think they might get relegated because they haven't moved.
And they've flirted with sacking him so many times. Yeah. You know, there have been times where the owners have flown in and he's pulled a win out the bag. Yeah. But had they not got the win, they were going to sack him. Like, this is going back to like November times. They were thinking about it. So, look, overall...
They can't play Benitez football though, Roars. I mean, Everton can do it a little bit.
When you look at the list,
Sean Dyche...
Like Ange Postecoglou is going to need time. He's going to need resources.
And there's a lottery, Postecoglou. It's a lottery. He's never done it in the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't like his attitude.
Someone into the end of the season that's going to definitely keep you up.
But you know, when you think about all of the people that are potential that we've mentioned there, Postecoglou's been mentioned, Carrick's been mentioned, Potter's been mentioned, but he's in employment. In terms of the people that are available that keep you up... Like, Michael Carrick...
yes, David!
Michael Carrick might be a fantastic manager in the Premier League, but there's jeopardy there and they can't take the risk.
Yeah, you're right.
Postecoglou might be a brilliant manager in the Premier League, but there's jeopardy there and they can't take the risk. In terms of who comes in to keep them up now, you know when you're saying Benitez ball, effectively, like they have the players to play Benitez ball. Do you not believe that Benitez is a skilled enough manager to work with...
Based on how bad Everton was. I know Everton's a different situation with the money they've spent. It's a bit strange, but... They look really poor with Benitez.
But they look really poor with Ancelotti.
Yeah, you're right. Look, I think those kind of that bandwagon of relegation surviving managers, they're all becoming extinct. I think.
Who would you? So if you were a Leicester fan and you're desperate for Leicester to stay up, who would you want?
I think Carrick, just because I know the risk. I get the risk.
He needs time.
We don't know that. Yeah, actually, what he's done with Middlesbrough.
He turned Middlesbrough around.
Middlesbrough were getting relegated. They were that bad. They were almost rock bottom.
Different in the Premier League.
I know it's different, but you gamble on the youth. That his youth, his energy has that 10 game impact.
I don't think.
No, Michael Carrick.
It's the biggest club he'll ever manage. He'll never manage a higher club than Leicester City. They're a huge.
The thing is, if he gets Borough up. He potentially gets the West Ham job.
I don't think he will.
He potentially gets the Spurs job.
Yeah.
Clubs that he's linked with or played for in the past.
Yeah, I feel like...
If you think Carrick can go to Spurs, Brendan Rodgers should go to Spurs.
No, I agree.
Who do you... They've obviously got someone.
Who do you...
No, but they've obviously got someone in mind, haven't they? They don't sack him without somebody...
Well, you never know these days.
No,
you never know.
Can't
but you never know.
Okay.
Who was it that took ages? Was it Everton that took 3 weeks? Or there was someone that had... They took 2.5, 3 weeks.
I'm lost.
Even Bournemouth didn't have a plan.
What about Nuno Santo?
Nuno...
No, come back and take this job.
No. Not for me.
I'm not scrambling for names.
You need a real unique club for him because you need to play back three. I'd bring Big Sam back. I say it every time, but I think he could do a job.
I think the answer to staying up, as much as I don't like him, I think the answer for Leicester, and put him on a 7 or 8 or 10 game contract, whatever it is, Benitez.
He wants more than that. That's why
he don't take a 10.
He wants a 2-year contract. He does, unfortunately, for his retirement.
Yeah, you can't give him a 2-year contract because you can't go down. You can't go down with him.
No, because he'd want to leave anyway.
He wouldn't, exactly.
But he did have Newcastle in the Championship. He was going up and down Rotherham and all that, Bristol City away. Rafa Benitez taking Newcastle around. So
Bruce is available.
Brucey? Oh, God.
Do you think they go now, Leicester?
I'm worried for them massively.
Are you worried? Are you actually worried?
No, I am, because I think Leicester City are a Premier League club. Yeah, I'm worried for them. I want to see Bournemouth down, Southampton down. They offer nothing to the league. But Leicester City offer a lot to the league.
Like that.
Offer nothing to the league.
No, I see Leicester.
Decent away day. It's not too far out of it's in the Midlands and all that.
I'd rather Bournemouth go down than Leicester.
Easy to get to in between other things. Midlands.
Yeah, it's convenient for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So for that reason alone.
London, Manchester.
Yeah, everyone can get
Norwich.
there. And I'll tell you, it's really easy for, say, Villa fans. Villa fans be over the moon.